Welcome to Narrations, where stories come alive and fear runs deep. Tonight, we venture underground, far from sunlight, into a nightmare where the walls themselves feel alive. This is The Descent, 2005. It begins with laughter, a group of women thrill-seekers, covered in mud and sweat, rafting down wild rapids in the Appalachian wilderness. Sarah, her husband Paul, and their young daughter wave goodbye to the group's leader, Juno, full of joy after a day of adventure. But in a split second, joy turns to tragedy. On the drive home, Paul is distracted. He turns his head, and metal pierces through the windshield. The crash kills him and their daughter instantly, leaving Sarah broken and lost in grief. A year later, Sarah reunites with Juno and their friends, Beth, Rebecca, Sam, and newcomer Holly, in the North Carolina mountains. The trip is meant to help Sarah heal, to reclaim the thrills she once loved. They drive through thick forests, laughing again, trying to forget the past. Deep in the woods, they reach a cave system and begin descending into the earth. Helmets click on, flashlights flicker, and for a while, the adventure feels thrilling again. But Juno hides a dangerous secret. This isn't the cave system she told them about. It's uncharted, unexplored, and deadly. As the group squeezes through narrow tunnels, one section collapses behind them, trapping them inside. Panic spreads. There's no way back, only forward. Sarah starts hearing things, whispers that echo through the rock. Beth tries to calm her, but even she feels the air tightening. They crawl deeper, their lights slicing through pitch-black corridors. When Holly runs ahead, she slips and crashes through a hidden shaft, breaking her leg in the fall. The others scramble down to help, but what they find below chills them to the bone. The cavern is vast and eerily beautiful, stalactites hanging like teeth. But on the ground, they find animal bones piled high, stripped clean. Then, out of the darkness, they hear it, a soft click, like stone tapping stone. Sarah lifts her light, and for just a moment she sees it, a pale, eyeless creature standing still, head tilted, listening. The women freeze. Then it moves, impossibly fast. The silence shatters into screams. The group scatters in chaos. The creatures, crawlers, are humanoid but twisted, blind but guided by sound, hunting with precision. They drag Holly away as she screams. Juno grabs a pickaxe and fights back, her blades slashing through the dark. Blood splatters the cave walls. But in her panic, she turns, and accidentally stabs Beth through the neck. The horror dawns on her face, but it's too late. Beth gasps, gripping the pendant that Juno wears, the same pendant Paul once gave her. Then she falls, whispering for Sarah. Juno runs, leaving her behind. Sarah, lost and alone, stumbles upon Beth later, barely alive. With her dying breath, Beth tells Sarah the truth. Juno and Paul were having an affair before the crash. Rage burns inside Sarah as Beth begs her to end her suffering. Sarah does, gently, then steels herself for revenge. She finds the pendant, the proof of betrayal, and sets off into the tunnels with grim determination. One by one, the women are slaughtered by the crawlers, torn apart in the blackness. Juno survives, her face smeared with blood, her breath heavy with guilt. When she and Sarah finally reunite, it's no longer friendship between them. It's survival and reckoning. Together they fight, slicing through the swarm of creatures, the cave echoing with shrieks and metal. But when the last one falls, Sarah turns to Juno, cold and silent. She shows her the pendant, the truth. Then she drives her pickaxe into Juno's leg, leaving her behind as the crawlers close in. Sarah runs. She climbs through a narrow crevice slick with blood, emerging into a shaft of pale light. She crawls upward, breaking through the surface, gasping into the open air. The forest greets her like a rebirth. She scrambles into her car, laughing, crying, screaming. She drives until she's sure she's free, until she stops, trembling, and looks beside her. Juno sits there, her face pale, her eyes hollow. Sarah screams, and the screen cuts to black. But then, the sound of dripping water returns. Sarah wakes again, still in the cave, her torch flickering weakly. Before her, the ghostly image of her daughter holds a birthday cake. It's not real, just a hallucination born of madness and despair. The camera pulls back, revealing Sarah still trapped deep below, her laughter echoing in the dark. The candles flicker. The crawlers shriek in the distance. And everything fades to black. The Descent is not just a story about monsters in the dark, it's about grief, guilt, and the darkness we all carry. Deep underground, there's no difference between what's chasing us and what we're running from. Only the echoes of our own fear. Thank you for watching The Descent, 2005, a journey into terror that reminds us, sometimes the real horror lies within. If you enjoyed this narration, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Narrations for more full horror stories all October long. And remember, in the dark, no one can hear you scream.